Okay, hey everybody. Um, okay. Okay. See, everybody's on mute. So I'm not going to ask you to come off unless you have something to say. So if you have anything that you want me to focus on, feel free to shout it out. Any parts of the body that you want to stretch or focus on at all. Or you can put it in the chat box. Okay, we're going to start today with some meditation. Yeah, let's start with some meditation. So find your comfortable seat. What we're looking for in meditation, there might be multiple things, but generally, in order to find a lot of the benefits that that we can prove we can get from meditation, we want to focus. So you can focus on anything, but one of the easiest things to focus on is your breath. So we're gonna just start there today, focusing on the part of your nose that protrudes from your face. So if you start to feel into like your sinuses here, see if you can keep your focus just on the nostrils as you inhale and exhale, just sensing the movement of air. And then you could also add in some counting to your breath, maybe inhaling for a count of 3 or 4, exhaling for 5 or 6. Go ahead and begin when you're ready. Let's take one more big breath. We'll exhale out. You can open your eyes if you'd like. I took a class recently, an in-person class with a teacher who I've been wanting to try for a while. It's kind of a long story, but I probably won't do it again for a while. It felt too weird, but it was like a normal class, right? Like it was faster than I usually practice, and it was repetitive, and it was like very normal yoga. And I found it to be so boring personally. And I was sitting there and I was like, I bet people love this class. This is like not my jam at all, but I bet people are totally into this. But the thing that it gave was a lot of time to think, because I wasn't thinking about really what I was doing with my body, because it was just like it was like walking, right? You don't really have to think too hard. But it was really interesting to have that time to really think. And we started the class, we were there because the studio was closing. So we were thinking about that. That was sort of our thing. So today I invite you to see if you can find a little bit of space, if you want to go a little deeper into discovering something about yourself. So it might be thinking about how you're handling something in your life. And you can always know if it needs more thought. If it feels like it's triggering you, right? If there's some resistance in you, that's always a good place to go, why? Maybe that guy really was being a dick, but why was it triggering me? Or something else that's going on in the world. Feel free. So we're just going to take a moment before we begin and notice if there's anything that you want to come back to throughout your process, throughout your class, and bring your focus there. See if there's anything that comes up. And then when you're ready, you can come down onto your back. And as we so often do, we're going to start with some core work. So keep in mind as we do our core work that if there's a time when you really feel this in your back, you're going to make the movement much smaller. We don't want to feel this in our backs. We want to feel this in our bellies. So if you're feeling it in your back, it's probably because your back takes over. When something is too hard for the muscle that we're trying to target, another muscle will take over or will just collapse. Guessing you're not going to collapse from the floor onto the floor. So let's find a lot of engagement through the belly. We're going to bring shins parallel to the ground and knees over the hips. Now this is really important. We're not going to bring the knee closer into the chest at all because that really changes the muscles that we're using. So press down into the low back, and you might already feel a lot going on here. And if you do, feel free to just stay still here and just feel into this engagement. We're going to bring arms straight up. So this is almost like a bird dog, but we're doing it on our backs. So let's start with same arm, same leg. And on your inhale, reach right arm and right leg away from each other, almost to the ground. And then exhale, bring them back in. Inhale, left arm, left leg. Exhale in. So we want to make sure that we're using the core here and not the hip flexors, not the back. Not really sure what else you would be feeling a lot of, but it should just mostly be the core. See if you can make your movement so slow that you're all done with your breath at the same time that your movement finishes. The next time you come to the right arm and right leg, we're going to do right arm, left leg. And then left arm, right leg. Let's go ahead and bring the knees into the chest. Gently rock from side to side. And then walking the feet out, we're going to keep a good bend in the knees. We're going to bring the heels as wide as the mat. And then make sure your hips are right in the center. We're going to find our T-Rex robot arms. So elbows are bent, hands are spread wide, like you're a creepy robot. And then pressing into your heels, we're going to start to lift the tailbone and the hips. So really feeling into the hamstrings here. Maybe bringing your focus back to your thought that you started with. your intention for the class. So you might press into the heels a little bit more, maybe drag them back towards the hips in order to get a little bit more happening in the hamstrings. If you need some motivation for this, I don't know if this will motivate you. You can think about how the hamstrings are like the elevators for the butt. So you want your butt to be a little bit higher. I feel like that is often a motivator for people. If you want your butt to be a little higher, the hamstrings really are the ones who are going to pull your butt up. Also, hamstrings are important for our movement, healthy movement. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Now, before we lower down, or instead of lowering down, we're going to step the feet back for bridge pose. So feet can still be wide or they can be hip width distance. We're going to lift up. We're going to keep the low back long. So we're going to press the pubic bone forward and up, tailbone in between the knees, press into the big toe mound. See how that feels? So that place right behind your toe, and then into the heel, and then into the pinky toe mound as well. Squeeze the belly. So here we're trying to focus more on the glutes than the hamstrings, and definitely not on the back. Let's lower down, and as you do, think about rounding the low back just a little bit, really pulling front low ribs and hip points a little closer together, and then lifting up. Rounding down a little bit, and then exhaling to lift. So we want to make sure that the glutes are waking up so that when we get to them later in class, they'll already be like awake and present. Let's do 2 more. And then stay in that lifted position just for a few more breaths. And then slowly lower down. Let's bring both knees over to the left side. Find a little stretch through the right hip, maybe right side body, and then back through center and over to the other side. Right. And then back to center. However you want to, you're going to come up to a seat. So you might go nice and slow. You might roll over to one side first. I think the reason that people really like those kind of faster paced classes is because we don't always have time to think in our lives. We're going to step back to plank. I feel like I do have a lot of time to think when holding babies. So when I get on my mat, I just want to be immersed in the sensation. Let's find some deep breaths. On your exhale, start to bend your knees a little bit. Send your hips back. So we're taking like a little turbo dog here. Knees are lifted away from the mat, but not too high. Really feeling into the quads here. So you can get the glutes involved as well, arms and shoulders involved, but really quads are doing a lot here. So we're really pressing into the toes, pressing the toes away from the hands, but because of the grip in your mat, we're not able to actually move the feet. And then on your exhale, step or hop. Top of the mat, find your squat pose. So from here, you might bring elbows to the insides of your thighs if your heels and your knees are wide. But otherwise, you might like to bring thumbs to third eye, so in between the eyebrows. And then start to lean forward. So the heels can stay down, but as the torso leans forward, maybe hands drop down, head drops down, finding more of a stretch through the back, maybe into the neck, maybe into the calves. And then sitting back to your seat, we'll lift the legs up for boat pose. Now, if from sitting or biking or whatever, maybe running, your hip flexors are really tight and this causes discomfort, heels down is totally fine. You can get just as much engagement this way. Let's bring right hand to the outer left thigh, almost outside of the knee. And then we're gonna reach the left arm back and find a twist. Maybe float the right leg up. Now we're gonna come back to center, right leg down, left hand to the right leg, reaching back with the right hand. Maybe finding a stretch in the left shoulder, maybe lifting the left leg. Let's come back to center. Both arms forward. We're going to start to lower down on the inhale and then exhale, lift up. Inhale and exhale. Let's take 3 more. And then crossing the ankles, roll forward onto hands and knees. So now that we've done some engagement in the belly and the back, let's see if we can find a nice stretch through cat and cow. Coming to a neutral spine. Let's bring forearms down. Press down into the palms, press down into the hands and the elbows and forearms. And then we're gonna bring the knees a little closer together, extend the right leg back and maybe upward a bit. So if you're arching in your back to lift the heel higher, just undo that. Press up slightly with the low back. Engage the belly. See if you can reach the left arm alongside the left ear. Let's release. Left forearm down, tuck the left toes under, and we're gonna lift up to a three-legged dolphin. Three-fin dolphin, maybe. And then gently lowering that knee down. Let's lower the right knee down. Come back into your alignment. Make sure the low back isn't arching. Knees pretty close together, and then left leg extends back and upward. When you're ready, right arm extends alongside the head. We'll bring right forearm down, tuck the right toes under, lift the hips. Let's lower the right knee down and then the left knee down. Push back up onto hands and knees. Let's step back to plank. And then on your exhale, find your down dog. Inhale, we're gonna roll forward to plank. And then exhale, slow lower down. So let's find a nice position for the pelvis. Press down into the pubic bone. Lift the head, lift the chest. Elbows press back. On your exhale, release forehead down. Bring your hands out, just like one width of your hand on each side. And then pressing into your hands, we're gonna lift up to wherever your cobra is. So your cobra might be low or high. Wherever you are, get to the very top of whatever yours is. And then lower down an inch or two or three. Drag the chest forward, lift it up. Pull the shoulder blades together. Drag the elbows and the hands back. If this feels easy and you want it to, that's okay. But if you want more engagement, push into the hands more. Pull them back, lift the chest. Let's release down. Inhale, hands come in, press up to plank. Exhale, down dog. Take a little bend in the knees, lift the hips up and back. And when you're ready, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, release all the way down. Let's drop the head down. Make some space. Now, bring your hands down to the ground if they reach, if not, maybe onto a stack of books. Walk the hands forward until it feels like your hips are pretty well over your heels. Lift up maybe a little higher to your half lift or quarter lift. Straighten the legs out a little bit more. Lift the tailbone back behind you, and then on your exhale, release down. Hands can stay where they are. On your inhale, press into the heels, squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings. Lift the arms, the head, the torso, all the way up, hands to heart. Relax the shoulders. Let's bring weight into the left leg. We're going to lift the right knee high, press down into the left heel, so much that the left glute feels like it's engaged as much as it can be. And then we're going to open the right knee out to the right side. May the arms reach up overhead. Now the right foot is going to step back and to the left for a curtsy squat. So knee comes down maybe almost to the ground, hands to heart, and then we'll come back to where we were. Right knee lifted out to the right side, back to curtsy squat. Start to find your rhythm here. Let your rhythm be slow so you can really focus on the movement, where your engagements need to be to keep you stable. Let's take our last one. And then turn the right knee forward. Extend the right leg back, torso down, warrior three. Let's step back to a high lunge. So here, if the right knee is lifting, you're going to feel more of a stretch in the front of the right hip. If the right knee is bent, you might feel more engagement through the quad or the glute. We'll reach the arms up. Let's bring the right knee forward again. And then extend it back, warrior three. We're going to step back to a high lunge, but this time straighten the left leg, turn the hips, maybe deepen your stance, find warrior two. So maybe challenge yourself to go even deeper in your warrior two than you usually do. Promise we're not going to be here for a crazy amount of time. And then reaching the arms out and up. Let's bend the left elbow, right hand to the left elbow, starting to find a tricep stretch, maybe reaching back to get into the side body as well. Inhale to open the arms wide. And then exhale, reaching forward and down. We're going to find a half moon. On your exhale, start to bring your right knee in as you lift up, coming back to that original position where we started, hands to heart. Really press into the left heel. And then we'll close the right knee towards the front. Extend back to your warrior three. Last time on this side. We're going to slowly step back. Right toes to the back of the mat. Hands down. Let's bring the right knee down, straighten the left leg, and find your half split. So you might have to change the distance of your feet a bit, focusing on the stretch in the left hamstring. See if you can pull the right hip forward, left hip back. Now let's walk the hands forward. Tuck the right toes, step back to plank. Deep breath in. On your exhale, slow lower down just halfway or less. And then press back up. And exhale back to down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale halfway down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, down dog. 3 more times at your own pace. One more time coming forward to plank. And then making your way either to your cobra, baby cobra, up dog, or your sphinx. Let's release down. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, down dog. Let's step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, release down, and then walk your hands forward till they're further forward than your shoulders. Let the hips come forward. Maybe the hands walk forward a little bit more. And then lifting up as much as you can, half or quarter. Now slowly releasing back down. Keep the tailbone lifting up high. On your next inhale, bring the weight into your heels. Press into the heels, squeeze the glutes, lift the arms, the head, the chest. Squeeze the hamstrings all the way up, hands to heart. Notice what's going on in your shoulders and your neck. Are they pulling up? Are they compensating? Remember, shoulders tensing is not going to help your legs do more work. So we can let that go, maybe. We can try to. Let's bring weight into the right leg. Lift the left knee as high as you can. Squeeze the right glute as much as you can. And then open the left knee out to the left side. May the arms reach up. On your next breath, the left leg is going to step back and to the right, hands to heart, left knee towards the ground for your curtsy squat, and then back to where we started, left knee up, pressing into the right heel, and then back, and up. Let's do 3 more. When you get back to that lifted position, we're going to turn the left knee forward. Make sure the hips are pointing forward as well. And then extend back, warrior three. Let's step back to a high lunge. So either lifting the left knee to go deeper into your stretch or bending the left knee to find a little bit more engagement. Arms can reach up. On your next exhale, hands to heart, left knee into the chest. Extend back to warrior three. Let's step back to a high lunge. This time the right leg is going to straighten, hips will turn to the left. Find your warrior two, maybe challenge yourself to go a little deeper than normal. Press into both heels, engage the glutes and the core. Reach the arms up, right arm bends, left hand to right elbow. Find the tricep stretch, so back of the arm. And then maybe leaning back as well. Let's expand the arms, lean forward and down over the right leg, find your half moon. So a hand can come down to the ground or to some books or a block. Now slowly starting to bring the left knee forward and up, pressing into the right glute. Now let's turn the left knee forward, hips forward. Extend back and find your warrior three. Now let's step back nice and slow. Good, let's lower the left knee down. And then straighten the right leg, find your half split. See if that right hip can pull back as the left hip presses forward. Let's walk the hands forward. Tuck the left toes, step back to plank. Let's lower down to forearms. See if you can send your hands a little wider than your elbows. Bring your focus to whatever you were thinking about today. Just about 10 more seconds. Slowly releasing the hips down. Untuck the toes, drag the chest forward. Now start to press into the knees, lift the hips. Press back into either puppy pose with the torso reaching out in front of the legs or into child's pose. On your next breath, make your way to plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, slow lower down just halfway. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, down dog. Make your way to the top of your mat. We're going to move through that flow, a little more flowy this time. So inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, right knee lifts. Press into the left heel. On your inhale, open the left knee out, the right knee out to the right side. And then exhale, step back to your curtsy squat. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, step back. One more round. Exhale, turn the right knee forward. Inhale, reach back to your warrior three. Exhale, step back to your high lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to bring the right knee forward. Inhale, extend back, warrior three. Let's stay here for an extra breath. And then step back, high lunge again, this time left leg straightens, turn the hips, find warrior two. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, bend the left elbow, reach up and back towards the right heel. Inhale, arms release, come forward, lift the right leg, find your half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale, right knee into the chest as you lift. Turning the right knee forward. Inhale, extend back, warrior three. Slowly step back. Let's lower the right knee. Straighten the left leg and hinge forward, half moon. Ardha Hanumanasana. Walking the hands forward, we'll step back to plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, slow, lower down. Inhale, cobra, up dog, baby cobra, sphinx. Back to your belly or your half lift. Plank. And then down dog. We'll take 5 deep breaths in downward facing dog. When you're ready, make your way back to the top of your mat. All the way up to standing. Get that low belly engaged. Bring the weight into your right leg. No, left leg. No, right leg. That's right. We're going to lift the left knee and then open it out to the left side. Bring hands to heart. Exhale, step back to your curtsy squat. Inhale, step forward and lift. Exhale, curtsy squat. Inhale, forward and lift. 3 more at your own pace. Make sure that right glute is really getting involved. Next time that the knee lifts, we're going to hold here. Turn the left knee forward and then extend back. Find your warrior 3. Let's step back to a high lunge. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Left knee comes forward into the chest. Inhale, extend back. Warrior 3. Step back, high lunge. This time right leg straightens, turn the hips. Find your warrior 2, that deepened stance. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, bend the right elbow, reach back towards the left heel. Inhale to open the arms, and then exhale, reach down, lift the left leg, half moon. On your exhale, left knee comes into the chest as you lift. And then closing forward. On your inhale, extend back, warrior 3. And then slowly reaching back, left toes to the ground, left knee to the ground, right leg straightens, find your half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. And then walking the hands forward, step back to plank. One last vinyasa if you want it. And then let's lower the knees, press back to child's pose. Two more breaths here. On your inhale, you can lift up, come to a seat. Let's extend the left leg out in front. The right knee is going to pull into the chest, and you might just stay here, especially if you're getting a good stretch through the right glute. Otherwise, maybe finding a twist to the right. Let's come back to center. We're going to flop the right knee over to the right side so that the ankle rests above the knee on the lower thigh. And then bending the left knee, find a little bit of a different stretch in the right glute. Two more breaths here. Let's release the left heel down. Extend the right leg out and then cross over, either squeeze in. See how that feels first. And if that's not giving you what you need, you can find a twist. Let's turn forward, flop the left knee down, and then pull the right knee in. Find your stretch in the left glute. Okay, if there's any last stretch that you need or want or pose, feel free to take it. Otherwise, come down onto your back. Bring your focus to your breath or to your body. See if you can keep your focus there. Start to bring some movement into fingers, toes, arms, and legs. Take your time getting up, but come up when you're ready. So one of the things that the class reminded me of is that being bored is actually really useful in a lot of ways. And in our world of streaming everything and content everywhere, we don't ever have to be bored. But being alone with our thoughts is the place where we get a lot of like inner work done. So I will challenge you guys the next time you're waiting for something or someone, making dinner, or just alone with your thoughts, and you have that inclination to put on an audiobook or a podcast or a show or some music, I challenge you to take 15 minutes of silence all by yourself and just see what comes of it. All right, guys. Hands to heart, deep breath in. Om Shanti. May we all find a little bit more peace today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts. Bye, guys.
Thanks, bye.
Bye, you're welcome.